Hello everyone, real quick, Rene jumping in before the episode starts to say that the DMs After Dark Discord is now live and open to the public, so you can now join a Discord with myself and my friends in the DMs After Dark. There is a channel for Rene Plays Games, so you can keep up with all things my podcast feed, as well as everything the DMs After Dark are doing within our little network, and chat games, stay nerdy, make friends, learn about new games, all that fun stuff. So, link will be in the description. Come join the DMs After Dark Discord. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rene Plays Games podcast. This episode is a last-minute pivot due to some scheduling issues getting everyone together for Eat the Reich, but while that one is still coming, I am super excited to have Troy back from the DMs After Dark, and we're going to be doing a little... Troy, I changed the name of this. We're calling it Tabletop Tutorial, where me and another person learn a game together for the first time, playing it, recording, and we are playing Hunter/Hunted by Super Dylan of the One Shot Network and Megan Cross, creator of many, many incredible solo and GM-less games, including Oh Patron Mine, which I backed and just successfully kickstarted. But anyway, Troy, what's up, my guy?
Hey, what's up, Rene? Thanks for having me on again.
Welcome back. Well, yeah,
yes.
you say that like we're not OG RPG homies. Like, again, everyone knows this if you've listened. Troy was my first DM. so it's not like, thanks for having me. Like, thanks for coming and playing games with me more, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, right? Because you with your Rene Plays Games and me and the rest of the folks with DMs After Dark, and I still feel like I'm not playing RPGs enough. It's a real problem being an adult, man. Fucking sucks. Don't do it.
Isn't that always the feeling though? You know, I could say I don't feel like I'm playing RPGs enough, and I literally played at lunch today, and we're playing now, and then right, yeah,
that's fair.
But it's never enough. It's never enough.
It's not, dude. It's definitely not. But for this game, I'm excited because Hunted, like guns, bro. You can have guns.
Yeah,
you had me at block. You had me.
You dude, we need to make like a Troy sticker where it's just like your face and it says like you had me at Glock.
Yes.
But this game, vibes wise, this game is also very much up your alley. Those of you who listen to your Mindcrawler solo thing on the DM's feed, also knowing that you're going into therapy, like this is one of those, like, I don't know if I'd call, is it like a psychological game, right? Like it's
yeah, it has the potential for sure, I think. You know, the first thing I thought of in this is I can't think of something more conflict heavy than being literally hunted or hunting someone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in hopefully today we'll get to expand on that in some maybe non-traditional ways and, you know, ask or get to the bottom of the questions, you know, what does it mean to be a monster? What does it mean?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. What does it mean to be hunted? What does it mean to hunt? Right.
So. Yeah. The tagline for this game is so good, right? It says, you are a hunter in pursuit of a terrible monster. You are a monster. A powerful hunter is after you. And then it says it's a fast-paced 2-player RPG about the monstrosity and humanity within us all. And I like that it doesn't necessarily say that the monster isn't the human. Right? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Sure. Depending on how this plays out, right? You could be describing either side as either one, right?
Absolutely. And realistically, both are probably each at one point in time, right?
Right,
like,
exactly.
A lion that tries to hunt a rhinoceros and gets freaking gored, like, who's the hunted? Who's the hunted, right? You know what I mean?
So, and this game is super cool. I love RPGs that take a little non-traditional approach to mechanics, and I love the mechanics. We'll get into it a little bit. Should we just get into it now? Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Hop right in.
It's the perfect mechanic for building suspense.
Yeah, it really is.
And for working with conflict.
Yeah.
I'll let you describe it, obviously, but I'm so stoked.
Yeah. So it's actually really clever, right? So if one of you is being hunted and one of you is the hunter, the first thing you need for this game is you need a couple of D6. Each of us is going to be rolling 2 D6, and you'll see why. And then based on results, we're going to consult a deck of cards, which has like prompt oracles, which is really cool.
Yep.
To kind of like flavor these scenes as things happen. And then even more fun is whoever's winning. I got to talk about the 2d6 roll. We roll our 2d6 at the same time and we just go fast. We just go fast.
Roll.
Because it's whoever hits doubles first.
Yeah.
And then we're basically playing tug of war on a little 5-space track. It starts in the middle on space number 3. So if one side wins, we move it towards their finish line. And then on the next one, if the other side wins, you move it back to the middle. So it's a race to get to the end.
Yes.
And basically it's, do you get away or do you get your prey? Right.
Right.
And the cards will give us prompts to flavor these scenes about like what does this mean, like what's happening to gain that upper hand, right, to like close in and get close before you don't, before you finally do close in. Right. And I love that. And for the record, I do need to mention that there is an optional alternative mechanic. Did you see this?
Yes, the ring and hook, dude.
Which is a hook and ring game. Have you ever seen those?
So
like they have at bars and stuff, my brother-in-law set one up in his backyard. It's like a huge one that like swings from a tree branch. So you're throwing it like 30 feet away. Dang. And now I'm just imagining this game on that scale, very slow.
Yes. Be a great lawn game.
I think they even made one with the Kickstarter for this. Like it was one of like the high tiers that they would send you like a little 2-sided hook and ring game.
Oh, that makes sense that it's 2-sided, right? Because 2 people are trying to hook at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
trying
really
to hook up, if you will. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Or get your hooks in someone, which is, ooh.
Right.
So obviously with a game like this, obviously that kind of primal, fear of being hunted or like that violent goal of hunting someone. They have a great note here about safety and using safety tools. Yes. We've talked a little bit before we went live and started recording earlier about some ideas we have, but I think that, we're both very comfortable playing with one another. I don't think any topics are going to come up that are going to upset us, but if they do, we'll pause the recording. We'll do it where we have to. But for people playing this game, obviously, depending on who you're playing with, not necessarily the lightest of tones.
Yeah, it's a great game to do lines and veils or X card or just because, again, the topics they could be as dark and heavy as you could make them. You know what I mean? Like, torture,
like descriptions of violence, right? I mean, yeah, exactly.
Violence, all kinds of stuff like that. So
I will include content warnings in the description of this podcast if anything comes up that I think might be problematic for listeners, and I will even punch myself in at the beginning of the episode to let people know what those might be before they get into it. So So I think the first decision we have to make, Troy, is who's hunting and who's being hunted.
So I personally am okay with either of these.
Yeah, same.
Do you want to roll, or what would you like to do? Whoever rolls doubles first is the hunter. You want to do that?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just get into that. You know what? Because I need to practice rolling dice fast. Is what I need to do.
Okay,
right,
ready, set, go.
Oh no! Oh, I got 2 ones. Let's go.
Okay. All right, you're the hunter. Then.
So I'm the hunter.
So I'm the hunted.
All right, that works. I like that.
Okay.
So you are going to be the hunted. I am going to be hunting you. Oh boy. I got to channel my inner. I'm not a very aggressive person. Well, so I'm gonna need a good reason to be hunting you.
So we had talked a little bit before, and we kind of had discussed the idea of possibly. I mean, do we want to talk about what we were thinking?
Yeah.
Or?
Throw it out there for sure.
So
I like this idea.
We had thought about the idea of a revenant, which I'm sure most people listening are familiar with revenants. Typically, they're portrayed as like undead or like otherworldly beings. And usually they are basically bound to or possessed by this carnal, insatiable need for vengeance.
Yeah.
They've been wronged or, wronged in the worst kind of way, so much so that their spirit comes back from the grave and seeks retribution. So
needs something to be done. Right.
Yes. So I like that idea for the hunter because the revenant is, again, it's tireless. It's unceasing. It's fucking crazy scary, right? Like powerful, all of those things. And it's inescapable. Like you can run, but you can't hide,
Yep.
And I also think that if we went that route, that would lend itself to us being able to explore maybe some more like intricate themes and some psychological themes and stuff, right? Because if there's a revenant hunting me, what did I do to deserve that, right?
Yeah, what made you the
hunted?
Yeah, what made you the focus of its vengeance quest, right? Like its unescapable need to, see this done. So, yeah.
Do you like that idea, Rene? Do you want to run with that? Because I'm open to do anything.
It. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, I think that obviously Super Dylan, one of the creators of this game, designers of this game, who hosts the One Shot podcast, did a episode of this where I think it was like a lighthouse attendant and like a Leviathan, right? So like you can get really wild with this, right?
Yeah.
But I love the idea of this hunter having a very clear, defined reason to be doing this, right? And even if we explore and discover that, in play or something like that, that's fine, because then it's also going to be the hunted examining themselves and figuring out like what it is that they did to earn this,
Not that this is probably going to come up too much, but it could. What like time period genre thing do you want this to be? Do you want this to be a modern time? Do you want this to be more of a a traditional like Dungeons and Dragons kind of, swords and axes and that kind of stuff? Or what are you thinking?
I don't know why my first thought with Revenant was like a Sleepy Hollow jam, right? Like I
do know why that was your first thought with a Revenant, bro. It's Sleepy Hollow.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true. Is it? I guess the Headless Horseman probably qualifies closely. But
so that would be like a
Victorian, Edwardian,
like a Victorian era, like you got flintlock pistols and there's military, but they're not fucking Modern Warfare 3.
One solid lead ball dual shots. you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if that's cool with you, something like that kind of
that
sounds
great.
Vibes.
That sounds great. Yep.
Yeah. Get to play a lot of like, the setting can be very like misty, nighttime is not lit up like a lot. You know what I mean? Like if you're going out at night, it is dark.
Yes, for sure.
That feels cool.
Cool. I like it.
All right. So you're going to be playing a human. I'm going to be playing a revenant. Then we are going to answer some individual questions about our characters, and then we're going to share those. And I think that we collaboratively answer some questions about the stage. So this is perfect. Where does the hunt take place? Do you have an idea for like a setting?
I like the idea of maybe it is back in my hometown or somewhere where there should be like safety. Like maybe I just got back from a very dangerous, like either like a military mission or something like that. Just got put back to regain my senses or whatever they would say back in that time.
Can we shift this and kind of, I don't know exactly where Sleepy Hollow fits in the timeline. That's not my particular forte of genre, but almost like Civil War, like antebellum.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Era, and then we can Civil War. Kind of like a middle America or like, you know what I mean? Like, something like that. Returning from a war, you know what I mean? The front lines.
Yes.
For whatever reason.
Yep. Okay. That sounds great. Yeah. No, I love that. And we can keep that reason a little ambiguous and see how it comes out in roleplay.
Okay. Yeah. The why you're back, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I fucking love that. That's so good. Yeah. Shit.
And then, so one of the questions is, will you open the game at the beginning of the hunt, or will you pick up a mid and ongoing hunt?
Ooh.
So that almost steps on the toes of what we were just talking about. Like, do we want to commit to that now and say?
I think in the middle of a hunt would be pretty sweet. You know what I mean?
And this is why you're coming home, right? Like you're expecting it to be a place of maybe I can find peace here.
Yeah.
You've been running from something. And you're like, I just need to get away from this.
Yes, I think that's good. And honestly, really leaning into the Revenant, right? And this could be some great role-playing opportunities, but like nothing is a reprieve. Like I sleep and you're hunting me in my fucking nightmares, right?
Oh,
I'm awake and you're fucking hunting me in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like, and like the lack of sleep, right? Imagine what that would do to somebody. And right, exactly. Like, at what point are you not even realizing when you're dreaming, when you're awake? You know?
Yes. I love that. I think that could be good.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so in the middle of a hunt, and then what are your emotional states at the start? I mean, should we answer our individual questions first, or should we just finish these stage settings?
How many more do we have for the stage setting?
Just 2.
Okay, we'll finish these and then we can do our individual questions.
I think that as the Revenant, I think my emotional state is going to be almost like someone woke me up and I'm fucking pissed about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost that. Like, again, whether or not this Revenant actually knows like all of the details of the why,
right?
It might be an interesting thing to maybe as they get closer, they start to piece together the why, but all they know is that they need to go this way now. Like they need to. There's no stopping this. Also, maybe like a confusion and a frustration on my side, as the hunter. And then as I get closer, proximity,
you get more clarity.
Yeah, brings clarity.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that works. And I think this can be the middle of a hunt, right? But it could also be the very first hunt.
Oh, sure.
My first encounter with you,
Mm-hmm. But something feels.
Oh,
something feels off.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last collaborative question is, what about you both is not what it seems?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to answer the last question because I didn't get to.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think for me, I think I did something really terrible that I am very guilty or ashamed of. And I think this is maybe like going on a couple of weeks now where I've just had this perpetual knot in my stomach. And, my character has, he's lost weight. He's maybe drinking a little bit more than he normally does. He's not sleeping well anymore. He's distancing himself from his comrades, stuff like that. So he's haggard, I think is like a good way to describe that.
Yeah. And searching for that reprieve anywhere you can get,
right?
If that's just drinking yourself to sleep, or if that's, right.
Right.
Yeah. And then of course you don't sleep well because you're drinking, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. They just compound, right?
Content warning, real life problems.
All right. And then, so what about us is not what it seems?
Maybe, if we're going like Civil War kind of era, maybe I'm not working for the team that everyone thinks I'm working for. Maybe I'm an informant or something.
Okay. Yeah, so you were, and they, oh man, what a post to abandon, right? Yeah.
And think about it, like, just because I'm an informant, it doesn't mean the relationships and the battles and all that stuff that I share with these people is not valuable. Like, I'm sure that means something. I'm sure I love the men that I work beside, and I'm sure some of them have died to protect me. And I would also maybe do that for them too. But on the same token, I know I have an ulterior motive.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. And I feel like it's hard for a Revenant to be not what it seems, but I think that, I might leave this open for a few.
Sure.
Until I answer these individual questions and see if I can come up with a good, but,
Maybe there is something else that could satiate your vengeance, like vengeance, but also perhaps like forgiveness or something else, right? And maybe that's something you can think about as the game progresses, but
yeah, maybe the traditional Revenant is this vengeance is what drives it. But again, we left open that I kind of just got woken up and there's just an urge, there's a pull. That doesn't necessarily mean I know what I'm going to do there, and clarity may bring more options.
Right. Yeah, I like that. We can keep that one open for you.
Cool. All right. So now we move on to our hunter and monster questions. So this is interesting. So I am the hunter.
Yes.
Which means that you are the monster. Yeah. You might think that because I'm a Revenant, I'm the monster, but I'm the hunter. So this is an interesting twist here.
You want to read yours and then I'll read mine?
Sure. We'll go one at a time.
They're basically they're not the same, but they're similar.
Yeah. So mine says, Hunter, you are a mighty hunter. Who are you and what do you look like?
Ooh. Who is this Revenant? And maybe you don't even know in game, but like, who were you?
Right. Again, if we kind of lean on that, I don't have all the answers yet, but I mean, if I see myself, right? If I am walking, it's hard not to say I was just a fellow soldier,
right?
But it could feel like there's something else that I want to get to. It just feels like it's right beyond my imagination at the moment, where it's like I know there's something golden right there, and I just need to dig a little
nugget, baby.
Yeah.
You'll get it. How about what do
So
you look like?
I think that I think it depends, right? On when you see me. Like, I think during the daytime,
Ooh,
I'm almost like not even visible or like noticeable at all, right?
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
think that like I don't have a lot of physicality in the
Okay.
daytime. Like I am,
Almost like incorporeal.
yeah, I am like wind blowing leaves, but it is a still hot day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
right.
am like a boot print just sinking into mud, but there's no one there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's what I am in
dude.
the daytime, but at night I am battle wounded. I am fully visible in the absolute wreck that whatever it was I was became,
Shit,
you know,
dude.
whatever happened to me,
I
right?
love that during the daytime. That's gonna play so heavy on my fucking paranoia and sleep
Right, right, because
deprivation.
it's going to be any little coincidence you see, you're going to be like, but was it? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so a soldier. You're a soldier.
Yeah, we're
And
going to
you
go. Well, for now, I'm going to say I'm a soldier. Yeah.
okay. So I also am a soldier. We kind of alluded to the fact that
Hmm.
I'm an informant. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll leave this ambiguous as to
Yeah.
north or
Yeah.
south. We'll
Yeah. And
just,
it doesn't have to be the Civil War,
yeah, it
right? It
doesn't
could
have to
just
be
be
the
like,
Civil
yeah.
War. Yes, it's a ye old war,
Ye
right?
old war,
We're
right?
good at those, dude. We do those all the time.
Yeah.
Um, mine says you are a monster. Who or what are you? So I'm a human,
Yeah.
and I'm a soldier who is an informant. I think my character's name will be Sergeant Judas Keen.
Ooh, Judas Keen. It's a good name.
What do I look like? I think Sergeant Keen is well, we'll just play into his name. I think he's a very like calculated, cunning, maybe one of the things that he was renowned for is like his battlefield like prowess, like his
Hmm.
tactical prowess.
Hmm.
He's probably like a small to average build person. He's not a very large man. And right now, obviously, he looks very haggard and weathered and worn. Despite his small frame, he looks like he's carrying an immense weight.
Okay.
I'll say he is no longer like clean shaven. That's something maybe some of the soldiers pay attention to, right? To look their best and
Oh, yeah.
that kind of stuff. And I'll say my guy's just kind of fucking given up on that. And he's a sergeant, so maybe he can get away with it. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. All right. Question number 2 for me is there's a reason you've come to hunt here. What is driving you to pursue your quarry? And were you hired or charged by someone else? I love the idea of not knowing what is driving. I mean, like we could say vengeance, right? We can say an unsettled debt, right? Like a death due, right? Or something
A
like
death
that, right?
due. Yeah. Yep.
You know, but was I hired or charged by someone else? I don't think so. I think that it was more I'm owed this.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like all I know is I'm here to collect, right? That's it.
Yeah. A death due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A death due.
Yours or mine, we've yet to determine.
Yeah, right. You know, it actually maybe that's it too. Like another thing could be like I'm actually pulled to this place because it's actually finally my time to move on, right? Like I'm
Could
done
be.
doing this, you know, who knows? We'll see.
My prompt is you have made this place your home. What brought you to this place and why did you choose to stay? I think maybe the place that I am returning to was like my childhood home where I grew up. It's where I had my first, my first love, when I
Mm,
was young and I guess the caveat to that, why did I choose to stay? I would say I didn't. I would say I
right.
left, but now I'm
Conscripted.
choosing to return
Yeah.
because everything in my life is difficult right now. It's confusing. I'm incredibly conflicted. Like I said, I'm very guilty
Hmm.
and full of shame. And I'm hoping that I can find that peace again in this
Oof.
place that was peaceful for me
Yeah.
once. So
Yeah, I like that. Why did you choose to say I didn't? I had to leave and now I'm coming back.
yes.
All right. Mine says you carry with you a signature weapon.
Fuck, you always
What?
have cool signature weapons, motherfucker.
Well, you mean my flaccid flaming
Yeah,
sword
dude, your
from
flaccid
right then?
flaming sword. That thing was the flaming tongue.
Do I bring it back? Do I bring it down? What is my signature weapon and what about it is more than it seems?
What if it was the thing that got you killed?
Interesting.
Just a thought,
Okay.
but continue on your train.
Yeah, I'm thinking like time period wise, what we're setting up here, right, is like, I think that I walk with like a clear, I don't want to say limp, but limp feels good, right? And I think that I use my army, whatever issue rifle as like a walking cane.
Okay.
And it's not the rifle that I'm going to hunt with, but it's the bayonet that is like stuck through my neck. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck. I think that's pretty badass, bro.
yeah.
That's pretty badass.
All right. So it is the bayonet. And what about it is more than it seems? I think it's almost like the compass, right? Like you'll see like in scenes we see of me, like when dusk is settling and like I'm becoming visible, he's always cleaning this rifle despite having walked on it all day. It's muddy. It's just been left to, it's not working.
Yeah.
But like they always are setting that final thing, like where they slide the bayonet in at the end of the rifle. And it's always kind of like pulling and pointing in the direction. And then they just get up and walk in that direction. Like they're just walking. The bayonet points the way.
That's good. That's very good, Rainy. Fuck. Okay, I love that.
Oh
okay.
Man, this next one for you. Oof.
You have heard the stories told about you. What do people say about you? How much of these stories are true? Oh God, mine's very difficult.
I almost love the idea, and use this or don't, but I almost love the idea of this being not negative stories, right? Because this is framed as the monster, right? And like you went away to war and then you became a turncoat for whatever side, right? And you've been a soldier, but you're mostly spying. And like you said, you die.
And that's the part for me that's monstrous.
It
is that
hurts,
all
right?
The things that people are saying I know are not true. Yeah,
yes,
dude. I fucking love that. I'm gonna say I got like the equivalent of a Purple Heart, or like
you're like decorated.
Like a Medal of Valor or some shit, which promoted me to a sergeant.
Just a lie. It is just oh man.
Yeah.
Or is it? Or is it though?
Or maybe I did do that thing, and now I can't reconcile reality with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's real.
Right, right.
I don't know where this person the things that I've done, where they end and where the person that I am begins. Right. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, like think of how good that is too, right? Like the internal conflict of this character where it's like, I'm serving people I never see, and I leave like a fucking note in a hollow of a tree for the other army to pick up, and I'm hoping that it's doing things that morally and like my idealism is hoping to achieve, but day in, day out, I'm with these men and women and people I care about. Jesus. And dude, man, that is
I don't
rough.
even know if I need someone hunting me. I think I'm doing a fine job myself.
You're just gonna like, I'm gonna be like, all right, go roll, and you're just gonna sit there and not roll dice. You're gonna be like, get me now.
Oh shit, dude. Okay, all last one for both of us here.
Yes. Mine says, you've heard the stories of the monster you hunt. What do you know about your quarry? And do you believe everything you've heard about it?
Probably not.
Ooh, right. And like, but we also, I really loved the idea of the not knowing and just being pulled. And I think that like, okay, again, pulling on this imagery of like, in the day you're haunted by what might be signs.
Right.
In the night, you are seeing me. You are physically seeing my manifestation as a revenant. And that bayonet, I think maybe there's almost like, maybe I am always around you in the daytime, but that's when like every day you need to get distance between us kind of thing, right? Like you've always been on the move, but you're hoping that if you go home,
I have to stop and rest and sleep and you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And I've heard stories about this man. And do I believe everything I've heard about Sergeant Keene? No, I think that this bayonet would
have an insider's scoop on.
Yeah. This bayonet would not be pulling me in this direction if there wasn't a reason, you know?
If I was all that I seemed. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Oh, this next question's bonkers too.
So mine says, you have been hunted before. How did you survive and why are you hunted? Oh God.
Yeah, this question sets up some potential implications for my identity. Did I fail the first time? Did you best me?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. Here, let me think for just a second here.
Or maybe it wasn't me. Maybe, I mean, again, you're a spy. Someone found out, right?
Yeah. I think that is probably the easiest way to explain that is somebody previously found out about my true identity, right? Maybe they caught me stashing a note or something in a tree, and then I think of like the Lord of the Rings scene where fucking Smeagol and that other hobbit find the ring and Smeagol just fucking straight up kills him
Oh,
like
yeah,
violently.
yeah.
I feel like that happened. But how was I hunted because of that? Because I don't want it to be another Revenant, right? That wouldn't be.
No, I think I think it was a manhunt, or I think that maybe
Oh,
there's counterintelligence, right? Like there was like legitimately like a bounty hunter for the army you've been fighting for, who like for a long while you were suspicious, and then eventually they confronted you, and before they could confirm or do anything.
Yeah, I think that's true. I didn't become aware that I was being hunted until the very end, right? When I just immediately acted.
The Inglourious Basterds scene of the wrong three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you went, hold up. Yes. I need to kill this person.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a great movie, by the way.
Oh, and I think that just informed who I think I am as a Revenant.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Can I tell you, or do you want me to keep it a secret?
You can. And your character doesn't necessarily have to know this right off the bat. Right. But in our interactions, you can discover it,
Here's what I'm thinking. Okay. I think that you killed this person who, by whatever code, drives me as a Revenant. Like, if one of you deserved death, it was you, right? Mm. Because of the deaths you're causing by selling secrets, right?
Right.
And I think that I was an innocent killed in like a small village that you said they're going to be here. They need this place. And the other army came and just wiped it out so they could like ambush these people, but they just killed a lot of innocents. Oh, and shit. My soul never forgave.
Wow.
And that's why I've heard stories of you, because in that camp where all of these soldiers were like, all right, go about your daily lives, people who live here, and we're waiting for the other army to come through. And they're talking up Judas Keen. They're talking him up like, we are going to win this war because of people like him. We are going to, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
And my soul never moved. My soul went, who? And I was just some guy. I had my old, beat up, not army issue rifle, Second Amendment, baby. Right.
Second Amendment, baby.
Oh, man. A lot of people listening just went,
Oh, God. They know I'm here. You introduced me at the beginning.
But also, I mean, like, this is the time in America that this mattered, right? Like,
yeah,
more than ever. So,
okay. So I just want to clarify, Rene. So your character was an innocent that was in a village, right? A town, whatever. Yeah. And my character needed to basically, this village was a very tactically sound position. Mm-hmm. So I had to...
You sold it out.
I sold it out. I had to take it over by force, essentially.
And you didn't know. Like, that said, you did not know what was going to happen when you wrote that letter, put it in a log, right? And said, like, this village, like this township, they're coming through. This is the only ford for miles, whatever it might have been, right? Like, they need this. Go there. You might have thought, okay, like the army will go there and they'll put those people,
set up an ambush or something.
Yeah, right. Like they'll say like, go about your lives, people. You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna blend in, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that, and your word got a town full of people killed.
Everyone,
but you don't even know that. But it's the conflict you've been dealing with, right? Internally, where you're like, am I even doing the right thing anymore? Because these people I care about, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure you'll let me know, Rene. I'm sure you'll fucking let me know.
Oh, dude, we're like, we haven't even started rolling dice yet, and I'm already like, man, oof. Okay, wild. All right, so now we move on to playing the game. Yeah. The start of the hunt, we are starting in the middle part in our little tug of war track here. We're going to start rolling 2d6s. And yeah, I think once we roll doubles, that person just starts.
And we're in the middle of a hunt, remember?
Yes,
we're starting in the middle of a hunt. So
do we want to set the scene as we start rolling this?
Let's set the scene before we roll. So
okay. Are you riding late into the night?
I was just going to say, is it daytime or nighttime?
You tell me.
Okay, I like the idea that it's nighttime.
Okay.
And for me, like I said, Sergeant Keene, he's been 2 weeks now with minimal sleep, hasn't been eating, just this gut filled with just knots and just terrible, terrible feelings. Because of this, I would say he maybe even deserted his last group, and he's heading home. He's fleeing. He's heading home. And he's just, ever since maybe a week or two ago, there's just been these little things, almost imperceivable, right? On the edge of his comprehension. You know, the footprint in the mud, or, you know, waking up and the fire is extinguished, you know, or, you know, taking a sip of his fucking liquor and it tastes like irony and fucking blood and just like gross shit like that. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's losing his mind. So he is, I'll say he doesn't have a horse right now. I'll say he's on foot, and he's literally just kind of running. He's just trying to pace himself through the forest, the trail or whatever that he's on. And he's also in his head just humming a cadence. That's something that he's doing to try to maintain a semblance of like reality.
Right. Imagine, I mean, again, I think of everything like a TV show, right? Like the opening of this TV show where we see this like pastoral fields and farm fields and like tree lines of like breaking these fields into whatnot. And like the sun is starting to go down, and like this man is walking on this road, and then the sun is getting down and the first long shadows start doing, and we just see him sweat and just start running. And if this was a TV show, you'd be like, why is this man just booking it? And ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh no.
Yes, got it. Doubles. 2 threes.
All right, okay. All right, okay. So you got doubles first. So Sergeant Judas Keene is actually potentially getting away. So we're going to flip a card here.
Yep.
And you draw from the red deck.
I am the monster.
It says here, when someone has rolled doubles, both players stop rolling, and the player who rolls doubles advances the token 1 space closer. So you are now on my side.
I have the upper hand.
To the opposing player. It says here, unless they've advanced off the tracker, which we have not, they will draw from the deck of cards, black for the hunter, red for the monster, and read the associated prompt. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go, Rene.
Right.
What did you flip?
The wrong side. Hold on. Wrong color. Yep. Let's change those. I'm going to have to shuffle that one because now I know the top card. The 7 of Hearts.
Okay, I'll read it here. You feel the high of the hunt, the taste of victory in the air. What will you revel in once this hunt is over? I think that cadence that I'm singing drives me onward beyond what my body would normally be capable of doing. And I think as I'm running hard, I'm outpacing this shadow, this thing that is fucking following me. And I can still feel it, right? Like, I'm a soldier. I have that fucking hypervigilance. I know I have the hair on the back of my neck standing up, right? Normally I'm the hunter, but in this instance, I can tell I'm outgunned, you know? And I think the taste of victory in the air, I think, is in the distance. I can see smoke that I know to be my village, my town.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. It is so close. And
I will leave all of this fucking shit behind me as soon as I get there. That's what I'll revel in.
You know what I think all the time is, you know how easy it must have been to just assume a new identity in those days?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You just show up to a town somewhere and you'll be like, my name is Brian Phillips. And you're just like, hello, Brian Phillips. We have to take you for your word, dude.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Show
me your identity papers. Oh, those aren't a fucking thing.
Yeah, right. Well, like I had a wagon, but we got swept out in the river over there. They're gone, man. Oh, well, okay,
They're
we'll
like,
get you some new ones, Brian Phillips.
Yeah, dude, river wagons. It happens all the time. This guy must be telling
somebody just goes to the town and they just write them up a new one, like this official state, But yeah, so you are so close and you can feel it. All right.
I just keep trudging on, yeah.
All right, yeah, taste of victory in the air. Oh boy, all right. But do I get to close in? Let's find out. Oh, do you want to keep going?
I was just going to say, we have to now answer the questions.
Oh, that's right. Yes, as the game progresses, players will take turns losing and gaining ground to one another, moving the token forward only to have it moved back, effectively losing the upper hand. When this happens, after the players who had their turn answers the card prompt, both players will answer these additional questions based on their position in the track. The first question is, how has the fight progressed?
So I think for me, the fight has progressed in my favor because I'm getting close to this thing that I believe will bring me reprieve and rest. Mm-hmm. I don't know that though, right? Like,
it's a hope.
And that would be pretty fucking devastating if I get there and it doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, the hunt does not end.
That would be horrible. So,
yeah.
But I think that's how it's progressed. And I think maybe the cadence that I was singing was one of the side that I'm actually like working for.
Yeah.
Something that was indoctrinated in me in my training and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of motivated me and reaffirmed all of the things that I had been doing were for the right reasons. Yeah.
Yep. You're sticking to it. You are doubling down on your morals as opposed to your actions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How about you? How's the fight progressed for you?
I think that I'm getting the faintest hints of clarity, right? Like, I think it's starting to come. You've still got a little distance on me, but I don't think that village in the distance offers me anything like it's offering you. I think I'm not stopping, right? Like, so for me,
it's just another fucking village. Yeah.
Yeah. It is just like, like you said at the very beginning, you can run, but you can't hide. So I think that for me, all is going to plan.
What if me getting closer to the village gives you information about the village you came from?
Oh, I'm starting to have like those double visions, right? Yeah.
You catch that smoke on the horizon and you smell, your village burning or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it just fucking reinforces that fucking rage that you have.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, as we get closer, that's going to happen. All right, so the upper hand has not been lost. The upper hand has been gained. So I think both of us have to answer this question.
We each answer one of those, yeah. So your upper hand has been lost.
Oh, gotcha. What keeps me from giving up?
Well, I guess technically I'm the only one that answers, right? Because I gained the upper hand, but before this we were on level playing field. So you didn't really lose the upper hand. Or did you?
It just says here, both players will answer these questions based on their position. So I think I did lose the upper hand, right? Like, I think the first one is...
Right, because now you're in a position of disadvantage, right?
Yeah, I gave up ground. So I think what keeps me from giving up is I can't. I literally cannot. And it's nighttime now, and I think that there's like, this is when I gain my ground, know?
Yeah, this is when okay, he can run for a long time, but guess what? He's got to fucking stop eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. If the upper hand has been gained, what gives you a moment of pause? I think seeing the smoke in the distance was also like, it was bolstering, but on the same token, for just a brief moment, it made me think of like, what if the person I am and the things that I've done are no longer welcomed here? What if I don't have a home anymore?
Yeah.
And the men that I abandoned were the closest thing I had to a home. Yeah. Oof. That's where we're at.
All right,
you son of a bitch. Are you ready to roll?
Let's go. I got to get you on this one. Okay. I don't want to be just staring it down like 2 rolls in, right? Yeah. All right. 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1. Go.
Come on.
No. I got 2 1s.
Oh, we tied. I got 2 2s.
All right. So it says here, if doubles are rolled at the same time, the hunter and monster each have a chance to grab the upper hand and fumbled, arriving at a momentary standstill. Instead of both players pulling cards, each player will answer the questions. What caused you to reach a standstill? what is this moment like for each of you? I have an idea if this is cool with you.
Yes, go run with it. Maybe I took a nap.
Yeah, so like exhaustion takes over, right?
Yep.
And like you can see it in the distance, and you had that moment of pause where you sat down to catch your breath and you fell asleep, and I think I come upon you, and I think that surprisingly, I think that what I actually do is I go and I block your path from leaving, and I wait for you to wake up because I need to do this. I need you to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's not enough to just fucking kill me. That would be so flat and not satisfying.
Right.
Okay, so you're standing there, you're blocking my path.
But I think that what happens is I'm not blocking your path. I go even like a little further down the woods in the direction of this village, right?
Okay.
And I think that what I do is we hear the bayonet just scrape on trees. Just and like I'm waiting for you to wake up as it's doing this.
Okay.
And eventually when you do wake up, you tell me.
I think yeah, I'm stirred from my slumber, jarred awake immediately. I think maybe that sound like invades my dream, right? And I fucking jet up and open my eyes, and I look around, and at first I don't see anything, and I'm like, oh God, it was just a dream. Like, I wish I could get some fucking sleep, right? But I know I'm up. Like, my adrenaline's pumping, my heart's going, so I'm like, fuck, I might as well, I'll douse the small fire I had going, I'll pick up my supplies, and I'll start walking. And then a moment later, I hear that fucking noise again.
And then like, in the smoke of your fire going out, you see a glimpse
like
of
a
me.
glint of metal.
Like just there, and then just the glint of the bayonet, right? And like the form that you've dreamt of and maybe haven't even seen yet.
I think I'm gonna yell out, what do you want from me?
Ooh, can I talk? I must be able to talk, right?
Yeah, dude. What does your voice sound like?
Ooh.
You have a bayonet through your fucking neck, bro. What is your voice? You sound like one of those fucking tracheotomy people with the stomas.
No, dude, I think it's a gurgle. I think there's like a wetness to it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that
God damn it.
Ooh, and the voice says something like, I want to know, are you marking another village for its death?
I wonder if that triggers anything in his mind. Maybe he had suspicion.
Like gurgly, right? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
Yeah, dude, let's go. I think, I wonder if I also maybe gain just a not necessarily clarity, but I wonder if that points me in the direction of like, oh fuck, did I mark a village for death? Right?
Yeah, that pit in your stomach is just back, right? Like thinking on the actions you've done, you've been justifying them to yourself.
I think the next thing I'll do, and if this is cool with you, this might be the standstill, right? Is after you say that, like, my hand like tightens around my saber or something that I'm holding, that I have, and I'm gonna ask like, "Who are you?" And maybe I'm just fucking met with the wind. Like, I think that you don't get an answer, this time, but I think that the clear confusion in your eyes, the fear, like, I can see you. I've been watching you. I've been hearing stories about you. The stories I've heard about this man who sold out this village. This man who would make this cold, calculating, tactical decision, right? That's what I imagined when I heard them all talking about, like, this Sergeant Keene, he gave us this village, and now we will turn the tide in this war. And the image that I've had was the
entire time was of this monster, right? Who did not care, played with life and death like they were chips in a poker game. And he sees that was clearly not that was not your reaction. Yeah. And in the moment, the bayonet does not go. But the fear, I think that it hasn't gone far.
Yeah.
You know what it is? You just hear, and then you just hear that scraping on trees all night.
Fuck.
And if I can just throw this out there, in the morning, every tree you walk by in the direction of this village has initials on it, and it is the initials of every single person in that village who died.
Fuck me, bro. Wowee. Holy shit. Wow. That was very good. That was very good, Rene.
All right.
God damn. Okay. Are we ready for another round on the roll?
Ready to go. This part is so stressful.
It is wicked stressful. Okay.
Right.
3, 2, 1. Go.
Go. No.
Come on.
No. Force.
No. I dropped your dice.
No, I got it.
Damn it.
We're back in the middle. We're back.
Your dice on the floor. Foiled again.
Dude, the stress of, honestly, it being on your side is palpable. I just moved it back to the beginning, though. So let's see here.
We're back on level ground.
We're back on level ground. Okay, here goes. I have to flip a black card from this deck. The Queen of Spades.
Ooh, that's probably going to be pretty devastating for me.
That seems pretty big. All right, here goes. Oh, and I love this. While tracking the monster, you catch it in a moment of weakness and vulnerability. Does this change how you feel about the monster? Why or why not? And how do you proceed? We literally just did that. That is exactly what we did.
This is true.
But I think that it also follows up that standstill interaction very well from last night.
Yeah.
I think that maybe the Revenant, this man, he's a very simple looking man. Maybe he was a farmer. Maybe he was like the town mayor. Maybe he was just like an elder, right? Like not old, but like he was a man of the town that took care of everybody and, you know, all this stuff. Maybe he, in his relentless pursuit, instead of staying there with you, he knows that you're going to be just sweating it out all night and like exhaustion's going to hit you again in the morning. Maybe I went and checked the village, and when I come back, I see you looking, and like you didn't just walk by all of those initials.
Mm-hmm.
I almost see you like cataloging them, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're committing them to memory.
Yeah.
Like they don't mean anything. They're just collections of letters, right?
I think I like that idea. I like that I'm writing down all the initials as I'm walking past them. And I think as I get to the very last initial that I see on the tree, I think I'm going to rip off my medals, and I'm going to like punch them into the tree.
Whoa.
And I'm
a big
behind.
Weakness and vulnerability moment, right?
Yeah.
Like that identity. Does it change how I feel about you? I don't think so at the moment. Like only because of the very essence of what I am.
Right. Yeah.
I'm watching you, you know, and
Bro,
in a
you
way,
gotta do some damage first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also maybe this is like misinterpreted by the Revenant as like a look at this man who'd sell out anything about himself, right?
Oh,
like
sure.
he is.
Yeah. You're not seeing this as guilt. You're seeing this as avoidance again.
Yes, right? Like, does this man have no loyalty? Like, how disgusting, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and now I've doubled back down.
Yep, so now we answer our 3 questions, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, man.
Okay. How has the fight progressed? Well, I think I've lost another piece of myself, so that's great.
You will have nothing.
I feel that way right now. I feel like I had some conviction after the first thing, and it's all gone. All gone. That's how it's progressed for me. But I'm closer to the village. Closer to the village.
And I think that for the Revenant, I think that the fight has been... I think that the clarity is both confusing, but also... I mean, it's just... There's no walking away from this, right? So, like, again, I'm relentless. But I want to do it to your face. I want you to know why, right? Like I think that's become the new need, right? Is I need to be able to look you in the eye when it's happening, and you know why I'm doing this, right? And I don't think you know that yet. So like part of it is like I need to torture this into you. You know what I mean?
I like that. The next question for me is, if the upper hand has been lost, what keeps you from giving up? I think when I pound the metals into the tree, yes, I'm giving up a piece of myself that meant something, right? Those stories about me and about my heroic actions and things that I actually truly did. I think the thing that keeps me from giving up is the idea that a fresh start is still possible. Like these metals, they don't mean anything to me if I can find peace without them. Yeah. And that's what I want right now more than anything is peace. So that gives me hope.
Nice. Yeah. And exactly. Like I said, like you will have nothing, but that might not be the worst thing for you, right? Like we joked about like how easy it was to just like start a new life. Yeah. But like you'd give anything for that probably.
Yeah. Right now I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. And then the last one for you is, if the upper hand has been gained, what gives you a moment of pause?
It's that I don't know everything yet, and you clearly don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
That's it. You know?
Yeah. It's just we need to know more. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, how are we going to find out, Rene?
Yeah. Are you ready?
You ready?
All right. You count it down.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Oh, I got it.
I missed. You got it right away?
Yeah. First roll, baby.
Man.
First
All
roll.
right. Okay.
2 threes.
Oof.
Okay. I like the idea of this particular fight being, because it says in this game that it can be a monologue, it can be a flashback, it can be anything, right? So I actually want to incorporate one of those things. I think I am at the point right now, I go back in time, I'm sleeping right now. You're right, exhaustion caught up to me and I'm sleeping. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not having a nightmare yet. Okay.
Let's see what the prompt is.
So yeah, I like the idea of let's pull the prompt first and then I'll say what happens.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Oh, the Queen of Hearts, the answer to my Queen of Spades.
In a moment of weakness, when the hunter has you on your back foot, you get the creeping thought that the hunter will win. What will lead to your defeat? Can you accept loss as a possibility? That sounds bad for me.
That does sound bad for you.
I got it.
Okay.
So this works perfectly for what I was thinking. I'm back in a different place in a different time, and I'm actually not too far from your village. And the village is a beautiful little small town. And there's, I'm sitting down at a well in the center of the town, and I see these children running by playing, and there's dogs in the streets, and there's the smell of like fresh baked bread, and I look up from my letter that I'm writing and I smile. I look at everyone and I smile, and I think like, this reminds me of home, this reminds me of what I'm missing. And then I finish the letter and I fold it up and I leave it in the well, or there's like a little stone missing from the well, and I tuck it into the well.
Yep.
And that was the letter that I wrote that led to the destruction of your village. And when I put the letter there and I close it up and I look back up again, the village is on fire. And standing in the flames is your figure. And it's that guttural fucking gurgling noise coming from your throat. So then going back to the prompt, it says, you get the creeping thought that the hunter will win, right? What will lead to your defeat? I think the thing that will lead to my defeat would be my actions, the consequences of my actions. Even though it was done with the best of intention, or not the best of intention, but like a total unaware of what it would do.
Yeah, right.
Can you accept loss as a possibility? I don't think I can right now. I think I am, in this moment, I think I am equally relentless to the revenue. I cannot accept loss, because if I lose, I have nothing.
Right, and in a way, another way to look at that too is like, at the moment you've defected, you've run away, right, from what you were supposed to be doing, and the work you were doing for whichever side you're actually on. But that's not to say, you couldn't still make progress if you find a bit of peace.
Yeah. Because
like in the end, like if you stop doing this, right, if you're not, if you lose, and by that you mean you are successfully hunted, also like what you stand for stands to lose, and like that's bigger than you.
Yeah, right. And in this case, accepting loss would be accepting that there is no peace. There's no peace, and there is
nothing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful. Fuck, that was a good one. Let's go.
So how has the fight progressed? I think, you know what? Can I just piggyback on yours?
Yes.
And say that I think this village does remind me of my village. And like, I think that when the Revenant in the daytime scouted it out, the hauntings, right? Like, are you there yet? Have you gotten there? Or are you just...
I'm going to say I'm very close. Very close.
Okay. I think that we just see a scene of daytime. And like, again, the benefit of having a camera, right? Where like, we see like a...
Are you fucking
opaque,
standing in the same spot that I was
like
standing in? Like...
a transparent, we see like a transparent, like kids run right by, kids run right through me, right? But I think that as the Revenant is walking through this village, and like we see the bayonet like pointing back out towards the woods that you've been hiding in outside of the village.
Yeah.
They just like are moving, and they just brush their hand along the well, and a rock falls out. Right? Like, I think that's it.
I love it. I love it. Hell yeah. Upper hand's been lost for you, Rene. What keeps you from giving up?
I don't, this is an interesting answer. It's that I don't want to see this village slaughtered.
Oh, shit.
I hold
Fucking
you
plot
responsible
twist.
for those things. You know what I mean? Like, Like,
wow.
in a way, like, again, I don't have all the information. You clearly don't know why I'm hunting you yet, like, to the extent that I need you to. And like, there's a misunderstanding maybe that this is what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I need to protect the world from men like you.
We're running from the same thing, bro. Like,
We are, right?
that's crazy. Okay, upper hand has been gained for me. What gives me a moment of pause? Yeah, I think in my reflection back, right, that letter, and I see you in the flames, and then when I finally look past you and look through you, it's my village that's on fire. Yeah.
It's the perfect, right? Like we saw, that's great. That's
Fuck
great
yeah.
framing. Very nice.
All right, you son of a bitch. Are you
All
ready?
right, we're back in the middle, dude. We got to start ready. Come on, here goes. Ready?
All right, ready? Go. Oh. Got it. 2-1.
No,
Literally
oh
first roll.
Okay,
First
you are
fucking
on
roll.
the cusp, my dude. You are on the cusp. Peace is in sight. All right,
Here's what happens. So, okay, go ahead. Flip your card. Flip my card.
All you're getting is hearts, my dude. Not a single diamonds yet. 2 of hearts.
A 2, you said?
The deuce.
Okay. The hunter attacks and you retaliate. While locked in close combat, they say something that startles you and almost makes you lose your footing. What is it? This is great because I was actually wanting this next confrontation. This is great because I was wanting this next confrontation to actually be a physical confrontation.
Yes.
And because up to this point, I was terrified of you, but like, you couldn't hurt me. So here's what happens. This is what I think happens. I make it to the town, right? And as I make it to the town, it's dark again, right? And I walk in and I step through the town and I turn around and I fucking see you. And you're right, You're right there. You're 20 feet behind me. And I look back, I look over my shoulder at my town and I say, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me now. And I think like at that point, maybe your character, like maybe the Revenant fucking charges me and like
100%.
throws me to the ground and just like starts fucking, maybe you like rip a piece of like my fucking shoulder or chest off with your teeth, like something absurd.
You know what it is? I run and the bayonet's in my hand, but the rifle's in my hand. I think I just take it across your chest, launch you to the ground, pin you, rifle across your shoulders, right across your chest, and I'm just above you, and I'm just like, I will make it hurt because you will not kill good people like these people. You will not bring your death to this village.
Ooh, and that is perfect because it says you almost lose your footing. Mm-hmm. So I think in that moment, I think I get an idea of what's going on here. Like, you don't want me to kill this village, and this is also a village I have no interest in burning. You know, This is my home. And I think as you're like pressing the rifle down into me, and like you're right there, and it's like crushing my ribs, like you're supernaturally strong. I think I just gasp out just with the slightest breath, like, this can be your home too.
Oh. Okay.
And that's what I say. How do you react?
Oof. I think that there is...
This can be your home too.
the rifle is across your chest, and I think that we hear like the metal of like the unscrewing of the bayonet in one hand.
Yeah.
And you hear just like, nowhere can be my home anymore. You made sure of that.
Fuck. Okay. I think in this moment I'll find a way to fucking squirrel away from you, or I'll use. I
think that maybe if you're yelling and this commotion has happened, I think that maybe a few people come out with torches, like, who's there? Yeah. What is going on? Right? And then when we see you again, I'm gone.
Oh,
and you're just laying. Yes. You're laying in
fucking
the mud.
Perfect.
You're laying in the mud in this village square.
It's me, Billy Barnyard Barnacus Barnyard.
Barnyard Wilhelm. No, oh my god. The percentage of people on this feed that are going to get that joke is going to be too low, honestly. Go listen to the DMs After Dark Good Society run. Oh man. That was what a good alter ego to pull out of nowhere. It is I, Barnyard.
Oh god damn it, that's so good. Good laugh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, in the middle of this like very tense game. Yeah. Like, you need those moments, right?
That's right. Okay.
So
I'm at my town. It's progressed in a bad way for me though, because I'm in my town and you literally physically hurt me. So now I'm questioning, where the fuck am I gonna run?
Yeah.
You don't have a home. Maybe I don't have a home either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Upper hand's been lost for you further. What keeps you from giving up?
Yeah, I think, so how has the fight progressed? I think that, I think that what you said, like it says that what I said made you almost lose your footing, right? Because you're starting to put the pieces together. And for me, that means I'm this close to being able to satisfyingly deliver the justice that I exist to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that, like you, I am dealing with the unintended consequences, right? You know what I mean? Like, it is is this the right thing to do, right? Because on paper, if this was black and white, the answer is yes, right?
Right.
But like, given context and like you finding out what your actions have led to, make it a little hazier, make it a lot more gray, right?
Right.
So what keeps me from giving up is I need to know when you know what that means to you. That's like the final judgment, right?
When I know what that means to me. Okay.
Right. When you know, what does that mean? Like, that's the ultimate judgment, and I can decide. Deliver that death?
Yeah.
Or is there another way?
I like that.
So now that the upper hand has been gained, you are on the cusp of succeeding here, Troy. What gives you that moment of pause? What gives me a moment of
pause? I think when you said I have no home, I think that, like, you said it in your disgusting gargle voice, but I heard myself saying it.
Oh.
Yeah. That gave me pause. It also gave me my next objective, which we'll see how this next round of rolling goes and go from there.
You're building a ghost house. All right. Ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. No.
Got it.
No.
Got it. Second roll. 2 3s, Rene.
No, dude, I picked the wrong dice for tonight. I picked the wrong dice. I
thought I did wrong using a metal dice because it doesn't roll as much.
Yeah.
But it ended up working out okay.
So. Clearly, you have passed by. So let's read real quick.
Okay.
When the token has been moved off the tracker, either the hunter or the monster has caught their adversary and now has the power to end the hunt and possibly their adversary's life. To determine how the story ends, the player who ends the game with the upper hand gains narrative control, effectively the sole storyteller of the final scene. So, do we have to flip a card or not? I
don't think so.
Unless they've advanced their token off the tracker, they will draw a card. So you don't have to. You just get to narrate the end of this game now. It says, I'm encouraged to roleplay.
Yes. Yes.
and ask questions to further the narrative, offer input, etc. I think we're good. We're good at that.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, we'll make this work really well. Okay.
All right.
And I'm going to give you kind of a really, really rewarding like final opportunity here. So,
okay. All right.
So you said like, I don't have a home. And then I heard myself say that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up, these people help me up off the ground. I kind of like push them aside. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'm tired. I need to get home. I start walking and I'm covered in fucking mud and my ribs hurt. I'm like, oh God, I definitely broke some ribs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I stumble across town and I know exactly where I'm going. This is my home. I grew up here, right? The fucking Jabobo's house over here and, this and that and this like, the bread maker over here that's been here for fucking since I was a kid and this and that, right? And I walk over to a small little unassuming house. And I walk over to the door and I stop for just a moment. I kind of lower my head and I take a deep breath and close my eyes. And I go to open the door and it's not locked. And I push the door open and I take a step inside. And this is my home. When I was a child, this is my home. And I take a step through the door and I walk around and I'm in the general living dining area, right? And it's cold. It's very cold. And it looks like there hasn't been any meals cooked here in a very long time. There's a heavy, thick layer of dust on the windowsills and the fire hasn't been lit in a year or more. And I kind of call out, hello? My heavy footfalls break the silence as I walk throughout the house. I walk into the room in which myself and my parents had lived when I was growing up, and the straw beds on the floor with, wool blankets or whatever, they're empty. All of them are empty. I kind of just lower my head and I hang my head low. And I think maybe at that moment, how do you appear in the room with me? I'm going to say the moon is like piercing through. Maybe there's a single window for story purposes, right? And the moon is just shining through the window and you just see the moon on my face and my face is hanging low and I'm standing in what once was my home feeling completely alone.
Man, do I love the idea of you turning back around out of this room where the beds were, back out into basically there's only like one other room likely, right? I mean like the kitchen
dining area
and like and I think that there's just a bayonet stuck in the dining room table. Like just stuck into the top of it. Like, I'm here, but I'm not sitting there.
I think when I see that, my heart races, right? Because I'm obviously terrified. I'm afraid. But on the same token, I feel like I have my answer. I have the answer. Like, is there hope? Is there will I ever have peace? And I think in that moment, I walk over to the table and I just touch the bayonet. I don't try to pull it out of the table. I just touch it softly. This weapon that I have used to take lives too. And I sit down in a chair and I just kind of hang my head low and I say, give me forgiveness for what I have done or give me death. And I just hang my head low and wait.
Whoa.
What's it gonna be, Rene?
Well, I think you won, right? So I think that
that's either of those things is a win for my character.
Which is
they're both peace.
I think that when you hang your head low, you close your eyes. When you open them back up and your hand is resting on something in the table, it's not the bayonet anymore. I think that it's just an old knife or something.
And maybe it's daytime.
That like your family had here. And it's daytime, you're waking up, right? But now carved on this table, it says, home is where you make it. Make it matter.
Damn. That's pretty good, Rene. That's pretty good, buddy.
All right.
Well done. Well done, Rene.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another
man.
fucking
That was
ginger
awesome.
masterpiece, bro.
That's right. 2-player gingers, can't go wrong.
Damn, the ginger ninjas.
Dude, this game's great. I actually told Lynn about it, and I was like, I'm going to be playing it with Troy first. And she was like, well, no, I'm not going to play it with you. And I was like, no, we're going to play this
Fine,
game.
you bitch.
That's just, Lynn was like, no, well, you don't need to play it again. You got to.
That's too funny.
But, oh man. But what's crazy is, we rolled all of 4, right? Because it was, you went forward, you went back, and then you just went forward 3 times, right? So we rolled all of 5 times. One was a tie, right? So yeah, there's so many prompts, and just by changing the identities of this monster, this hunter,
replayability,
all this stuff, problem. Oh my gosh, crazy. I already have like 3 other ideas that I'm like, man, I kind of want to play some wild stuff with this,
Think about,
man, this was
about
awesome.
the themes too that you can explore, right? Like in this one, obviously there were themes of like guilt, shame, forgiveness,
right?
vengeance.
Right. Hard decisions, right? You know what I mean? Like, or unintended consequences of your decisions, right? Like people don't always know what's going to happen when they make a decision they think they're doing in from a good place, or just because it's the option presented to them. But in the end, like, how much of that is your burden to shoulder, right? Like, how much of
I think Rene, that this game could actually be a very powerful role-playing game used in a therapeutic setting between the therapist and
right? Like,
the
what's
client.
hunting you, right?
Yeah. Right.
What do you think is hunting?
If somebody is maybe has been victimized or something, right? They have the opportunity to play as either the hunter or the hunted. And either one of those things could be incredibly cathartic for them to work through some of those things that they're struggling with, I could see this being a tremendously powerful therapeutic game.
Yeah, and honestly, for this episode, I should say congratulations, man. You're like this close to finishing your master's, right? And you're gonna be hitting clinical soon to do your therapy stuff.
2 weeks.
And you were part of one of the very first perspective checks on this channel. You were the first perspective checks, and then there were like, I think, like 2 months later, you and I interviewed Liz Green, who is a therapist who uses role playing games. So look at that, a little over a year later, and you're on it.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
you're doing
it's been a long road, but it's been really rewarding. I can't wait to help people with that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and you're right. Like, we talk about it all the time. People use games for different things, but in a way that there's always kind of a resonance, right? And like this game, the themes in it, the gameplay of it, right? Like that back and forth, right? Like it kind of gives you a chance to like feel what it's like when you're on the back, when you're backpedaling and you're losing control. And then like also like, what does it mean to make progress towards getting out of it, right? Yeah, this is a great game. I'm super pumped that we didn't play Eat the Reich, but we will soon. But like, man, what a pivot this was.
Really, really
good.
And
this is going in the rotation for sure.
Buddy.
Oh man. Heck yeah. Thank you, Troy. I guess you want to pitch anything? Tell people where they could find you on the internet?
Yeah.
You want to talk anything? I know you're really busy lately.
I am. So I'm sure they've made an announcement on the DMs podcast. I'm going to be taking a step back for the time being, for the RuneQuest. Kym Reese is going to still be in the story. He's just going to be being played by Christian. And that's just to focus on my clinicals and kind of the importance of that, right? This is not a small task. This is people's lives and their deepest traumas and all that stuff. So I'll be taking a step back from DMs for a little bit. Having said that, though, RPGs are very important to me and I love them dearly. So I will be trying to play little one shots here and there, either, Rainy with you, if you'd have me, or with the DMs, if they're cool doing like an off week or something like that. I just don't have the time and effort to commit to that in-depth campaign, But
for sure. Yep, absolutely.
You already know us, DMs After Dark. You know where to find us. We're on Blue Sky. We're on frickin' all the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. DMsAfterDark@gmail.com. Send us messages.
Yeah.
Honestly, something I'd love to hear from folks is like, what games would they like to see us play? Because we've been in the throes of RuneQuest for a while now, and it's a great game. But if we could play another thing, what would it be? So.
Yeah, and like you said, like if you have time for one shots, right? If it's something we can squeeze in, do streams on off weeks or whatever, or like again, like if it ends up being on this this feed, I'm a baby of the DMs network, so it's actually both us and the DMs are getting consistently more emails. It's
Yeah.
really cool to see. So yeah, continue to reach out to us. Let us know if you want to get involved, if you want to hear us play certain games, anything like that. Reach out. So, all right, Troy. Well, hey, man, thank
Rainey,
you for coming on.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Fucking love you.
We'll be doing it again very soon,
Heck yeah.
I am sure. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this 2-player tabletop tutorial going over the incredible Hunter/Hunted from Super Dylan and Megan Cross. We had a blast with this game, and I highly recommend it for anybody. If you got a partner or small group, people can't make it to a game, this game is great. We played it in just over an hour from start and just looking at it to finish, and there are so many incredible prompts that we never got to, and obviously themes, and the characters and stuff that you make are going to make a huge difference as to what you experience. So give it a shot. Link will be in the description. If you want to get in touch with me, find me on the social medias or email me at rainyplaysgamespod@gmail.com. If you haven't already and feel generous, you can leave a rating and review on your podcatcher of choice or leave comments on Spotify or whatever you use. I've seen people leaving comments on that, which is really cool. And yeah, if you feel bonkers generous, you can toss me a few bucks at my Coffee page to help cover the cost of podcast hosting and the video software I use for interviews and transcriptions and all that. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, don't run from the big problems. Make baby steps towards overcoming them.